Have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us that, I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object. It almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast that went right over the top of us.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We got some breaking news just in. I received a document from a Southwest Airlines employee. It's leaked to us and we're going to share it with you right now. Could it be the involvement in regards to what just happened with the American Airlines close encounter? Right now, you're looking at this incredible document coming in from South Airlines, and it's a briefing. We received this cover page via my email just moments ago, and we're breaking it down right here at Third Phase of Moon, plus some other things that we need to resolve in regards to an incredible video that we put out last night. So buckle up, everybody. Right now, we have the entire panel. I've sent them this document. We're going to break it down with Rich from GoofOn, including Dark Hour Paranormal and Dr. J from Dr. J Radio Live, including my brother Brent Cousins. So you're looking at this document. It appears to explain that there's some kind of GPS interfering testing that happened the day of the American Airlines close encounter. It says in this cover page that on February 20th to the February 23rd, 2021, that they're going to be doing something at the Southern California Tactical Training Range. And they asked the pilots and they encouraged them to report any kind of anomalies to air traffic control, the facilities, if they heard anything. And they asked them as well if they experienced any kind of GPS anomalies, and they advised to check over the ATC of the equipment affected if there is any. They gave this heads up to the pilots over there at Southwest. Could there be a correlation of what the American Airlines pilot experienced? What is this GPS interference testing all about? Let's start it off right now with Dr. J. Dr. J, what do you make of these leaked documents that's come into Third Phase of Moon exclusively from Southwest Airlines?
Well, this to me is, again, like you said, another very exclusive document, another piece of evidence given to Third Phase of Moon to disseminate about around the world. For a quick, update for everybody, for those of you who've been living under a rock, who didn't catch the first part of the story, an American Airlines pilot was recorded by a ham operator, basically describing, while he was flying a passenger jet, that a spherical type or cylindrical type shaped object passed over his plane fairly quickly, and it resembled sort of a Tomahawk missile. Now here we have, in that same time range, set by Southwest Airlines, a briefing to all its pilots to essentially, like you said, encourage them to report any anomalies, which kind of makes me want to laugh, because we know in the past that pilots never wanted to report to air traffic control or to their superiors or to anybody, anything they saw, for fear of ridicule and losing their job. Now, let me add one more thing to this, is that these days, 2021, our technology is so good that to have interference in your GPS or anything that would alter a signal coming from a satellite or anything that would cause any interference, we're not living in the 40s or 50s anymore. We're in the 21st century. So what I would think is, for something to cause this type of interference, to put Southwest Airlines on notice to inform other pilots, may be that some sort of technology involving some meta-propulsion that simulates anti-gravity was being used to cause this said interference.
Well said there, Dr. J. What is the meta-propulsion behind the craft spotted? And don't forget, everybody, we were the first to break the news via Jim Goodall, who shared the ham radio operator the file to us. And it took the major media about 3 to 4 days to share the news, break it down, and you know what? Third Phase of Moon didn't get any credit, but I'm sure the world is going to be looking at this new document, this exclusive document, and look at it again. And I hope they give Third Phase of Moon some credit in regards to breaking the news, in regards to this subject matter. What's going on in this new technology, if that's what it is, GPS interference testing? We got Rich from GoofOn. Rich, what's your thoughts on this memo that has just come in, this briefing from Southwest Airlines? Does it kind of reveal the possible, the smoking gun behind the American Airlines incident?
Maybe. It's very strange. It's right in the same exact area. As a matter of fact, I was doing a little research before we talked about this just now, and they sent out another advisory, or it's just a notification, a briefing basically about flight advisory GPS interference testing. They did one on February 7th. They sent it out 4 days prior. And it actually tells you, even with the GPS location, where the test is taking place and how high it's going to be emitting these GPS interferences. So it gives you the date, the time, and where it's going to happen. And that's what's amazing about this story, because exactly where the event happened with the pilot seeing this cylindrical object is where the test was done.
It's not a coincidence, in my opinion. I think there's something really going on, and there was an anomaly that was spotted by the American Airlines pilot, and I got a feeling it has to do with the California Tactical Training Range, because they gave a heads up to Southwest that you might experience something that's very strange, and they asked the pilots to report any anomalies. That means any kind of anomalies. It sounds like the American Airlines experienced that anomaly, something that could knock out the GPS or create some kind of interference. That's the head of the cover page. That's what it's stating. Michael from Dark Hour, your thoughts?
Yeah, I have to agree that this is probably one of the most amazing confirmations, in my opinion, that we've seen when it's in relation to some of these sightings. In my opinion here, I think looking through this short document, that they were testing some sort of technology that we're not familiar with, and had possibly either the concern that energy field or whatever the field was that was being used to propel this craft might interfere with the GPS, or they're actually testing that the GPS would interfere with certain equipment, and we're trying to log and monitor that as well. I find it very interesting, of course, the timeline, the same way that everybody else has reflected here, that everything seems to be very specific, location, right down to the hours that this could possibly happen. And, with Rich saying that there's another document that was sent out along these same lines, it's just they wanted to get that out there because there may have been some data that they could collect from these experiences, have anybody come over that sort of object, which in this case, we did have a pilot who happened to see it. Now, maybe the intention of the people that sent out this memo and whoever was behind these tests didn't think that the pilots or anybody else would necessarily see the object, but were concerned with how it just being in the environment might actually affect the commercial aircrafts around.
Well said there, Dark Hour. And again, this is kind of breaking news. This was some leaked documents that have just come in. We're sharing it right now. So give us a big thumbs up for breaking news right here on Third Phase of Moon, the #1 UFO channel on the planet. So I want to ask Brent, do you think that it's possible these Tic Tac sightings by our Navy pilots and now by commercial airline pilots and this Southwest Airlines, do you think this GPS interference testing is within the asset or the arsenal of this Tic Tac?
Yeah, it's pretty much hitting the nail on the head there, Blake. I'm thinking there's too much of a coincidence what's really happening here. It's all a coalition of, I think, a spearhead of what the technology is, what's happening in our government right now. And it's almost maybe in a way of some sort of soft disclosure. Now we're getting this from the Southwest briefing, and that's amazing. I love that we have these sources on the inside that kind of leak it out to us before it even gets out to the major media, and we're able to give it to you in real time. We just received this memo, this briefing about 5 hours ago, and now we got the team talking about it. It's fantastic. I want to kind of maybe lay in a theory. Yeah, obviously the Tic Tac technology and its incredible speed and everything else it does, why wouldn't it have its own, like, it wouldn't need GPS tracking? It would just be on its own sensor, something that we're not familiar with, and maybe it could emit something to other aircraft or anything in the vicinity, and maybe play around with their GPS. So that's where they're probably throwing out this memo, this briefing today.
Now, we've put out a video, and again, this is the breaking news. Everybody absorb what you've just listened to, because it is massive news. Leaked documents coming in from Southwest Airlines. You heard it here first. Tell everybody Third Phase Moon is the place to get the information. So we put a video out last night in regards to a video that was covered by Rich. We also put it out in our documentary, Countdown to Disclosure, the secret technology behind the Space Force. And we wanted to look at it again because I received a document today, and it looks to me like it could be the TR-3B patent. And what you see in this incredible video, they were doing some joint military exercises with Norway in regards to some Russian tensions. And we saw this video, and it's incredible, but now we have this diagram that locks on solid to the object within the video. We're looking at it, and it is a dead ringer. The glove fits on this one, and it is absolutely amazing. I think this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a TR-3B in broad daylight, and our Air Force and Norway are totally aware of this craft. I think they're doing some joint military exercises with this TR-3B that shouldn't be known to the public, but it seems like Third Phase Moon brought it to the forefront. This diagram, and these diagrams match up perfectly with the video. We actually have the original link as well. Some people are saying that this is CGI, this isn't real. Why isn't the pilot looking at it? Well, the whole point is the Air Force shot this, and the original link is in the description. You want to go check it out, feel free to, because if this isn't real, I don't know what is. And if it isn't, then blame it on the Air Force. Is the Air Force putting CGI craft in there? I don't think so. This is a TR-3B. It matches perfectly with the blueprints of the TR-3B. Your thoughts, Dr. J?
Yeah, when I first saw that video, the very first thing that stuck out to me was there was no fin. I mean, if you're looking at a jet or any sort of fighter plane, or like the SR-17, SR-71 Blackbird, or the F-117 stealth fighter, they all have vertical fins. This did not at all in any way. And of course, I paid attention to the pilots not looking at it, but why would they be looking at it if someone is filming it and they know they're being filmed themselves? This blueprint is really one of the best pieces of evidence that you could receive. This actually reminds me of the very detailed blueprints you received of the deep underground military bases. Right now, for the first time, the entire world may very well be looking at blueprint plans to make a TR-3B. All the TR-3Bs that are caught flying around the world may very well have this under the hood if we were able to dissect them.
Absolutely, Dr. J. The coincidences of the blueprints and the video matching perfectly with the comparison, it matches you just have to say it matches 100%. Your thoughts on this, Rich?
Yeah, it's amazing. I talked about it today. When you sent this to me, I couldn't believe how it really does match up, especially the side view, what we see from that object coming into view. We see a side view, and on the document here, on the blueprint, you see, in my opinion, what looks like a real perfect match to what we're looking at. And then when you look at the overhead view, it's a triangle. So to me, that's a TR-3B. And these are the blueprints. And if you look and read the things that are being noted here on the blueprints, this is some pretty complex electronics. I've never seen anything like it. Beautiful.
It's funny too, right, Rich, that other people were thinking that this is absolutely maybe some CGI going on. This is some kind of trick. But then again, the Air Force captured this. it's interesting how people think of some of the evidence that's being put forth, and we're bringing it in a way that's the pinnacle, and we're sharing it to you as fast as it comes in. Let's get to Michael from Dark Hour. What do you make of this perfect match?
To me, it's almost a smoking gun. If the shoe fits, then that's probably exactly what we're looking at. As we see the video, when we're seeing it on the side, it even reminded me, I think it might have been mentioned, Dr. J may have said the SR-71, which was, a secret project for a very long time, and eventually was, revealed to the public in various ways, but it's still a craft that's used for very specific purposes. Now, could it be because we've been seeing these TR-3B type crafts for so long that now is finally the time that they're deciding that perhaps the technology that they've been working with has been perfected, and they're ready to give us that part of the soft disclosure in way of our technology? It's very possible. This is a fantastic sighting, and as you mentioned, Blake, for all the people that really had thoughts about the legitimacy of this particular footage, you really have to look at the source. And it's not many times that we have a clear understanding of the origin of the footage. But in this case, we know exactly where it came from, and it's beyond a reputable source. So that has to be considered when looking at something like this. And again, just to get back to the impact this might have, this may be the clearest form of one of these types of crafts with the overlay that you guys are introducing that we have on the table right now.
Absolutely, Michael, appreciate it. I appreciate the whole panel joining me on this breaking news story right now. And if you're looking at this comparison with the TR-3B blueprints, schematics to this video, if the gloves fit, you must convict. That's all I got to say. Everybody keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe out there. And if you want to check out Rich at GoofOn, he's got some great insights, and Dark Hour Paranormal. He's getting into all kinds of aspects into the paranormal world. And don't forget Dr. J Radio Live, talking to the top ufologists, scientists, politicians, you name it. He's talking to them all. Check them out. Be safe out there. And don't forget to check out the big documentary that's breaking all the records, Countdown to Disclosure, the secret technology behind the Space Force. It's available now. Here's the trailer. We'll see you guys next time.
I think it's terrifying. I mean, this seems potentially like one of the biggest stories of my lifetime. And I don't care if it's about UFOs or whatever you call it. Something that we don't understand is getting very close to our military aircraft.
The technologies related to energy generation should come out first.
This hybrid aerospace underwater craft is able to basically generate an electromagnetic field.
It is President Trump's belief that the United States must remain as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and the air. And your charge is to see to that mission with the United States Space Force.
There were 3 people on my team assassinated, and I was almost killed.
With a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
It's a matter of national security.
But apparently, just recovered are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth.
The president will respond to the subject the way they want them to. There's a black box with all the technologies that would give us a civilization that's sustainable, peaceful, etc., and that's been around for decades.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world. Are we alone?
Look, it's just stalled out there.
The narrative that's being launched, which is a false narrative, is that we're not alone and that those civilizations are a threat. The problem is that the public has to be informed and involved.
Could be a restatement saying, hallelujah, I'm finally vindicated.
I'm not completely convinced they're gonna let this stay like it is.
But the people who are surrounding that level of our politicians and government are not told. Like the movie Independence Day, where Will say, let's go kick alien butt.